up, everybody? Welcome back to the pod. I actually got a name now, so I've been working hard on brainstorming, trying to get a name. So, debuting the name today. New pod name is Talk Your Shit Podcast. Talk Your Shit. We like to change topics and move around and shift around and do different things. So, this is going to be the opening video to Talk Your Shit Podcast. Appreciate everybody for joining. Some of y'all, those that have been around for a while, appreciate y'all. Those that are new, welcome, guys. Welcome. I appreciate y'all. Today we're breaking down the Fighting Irish Freestyle, verse by verse. So this might be a little longer video than I like to do. I usually try to keep them short, but this was a little long, just breaking down the verse. So also, I'm gonna throw it up here. Y'all can check it out with me so you can see what I'm reading through. The summer is over. I missed it. Barrels was smoking. I missed it. I think he meant I kissed it. So just reading through the first lyrics that y'all can see up here. I said this on another video, a shorter breakdown. I was just like my initial thoughts on it. But just looking at some of the things that he's talking about, when we talk about my brothers got tickets, they fell in love with the gimmicks, analyzing behavioral patterns, it was somewhat suspicious. Niggas was never happy for me when I was running up the digits. I mentioned that a lot of this doesn't really sound like a diss to me. And being totally transparent, it really sounds like an open love letter. And a part of me believes that this dude really felt that they, like I said, I understand what you mean by friendship, but the way he's moving and the way he's talking, it makes me really feel like this is an open love letter, you know. And I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about some of the things that I talk about that make me feel like that. You know, again, people not being happy for him. You know, he's been a #1 rapper for 10 plus years. It's funny how when you not the #1 now, nobody was ever happy for you. Like nobody ever wanted you to you know, was congratulating you on breaking records and doing all that stuff. It's just, you know, some of that stuff is just not true. So a lot of this is just really that victim mentality. You know, looking back on this, where we talked about, remember when we traded watches? I gave you an Arabic dial, you gave me a numbered edition. You know, you talking about y'all trading gifts and trading watches amongst friends. Also, you know, when we talked about here, you even checked up on my son like a pediatrician. I mean, as cordial people, hey, how you doing? How your family doing? It's pretty corny to be checking up like a pediatrician. These are not deep bars. These are not something metaphoric in any manner. You know what I mean? So it's just, if we're looking for this, you know, deep intellectual response, you know, this ain't it. You know what I mean? This is a lot of victim. This is a lot of, oh man, you know, everybody's mad, everybody's upset with me, and everybody's against me, kind of mentality. And again, this is just verse one. Verse one. Sure convinced the gang was this shit was rooted in love when it wasn't. Show me how different we were. There's blessings in juxtaposition. I guess now you boys gotta abandon your summer tradition. Cold shoulders I gave in the Hamptons, it come with the distance. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's talking about the the Rick Rubin party or whatever, that white party that they had when Kidrick put the not like us video out. Looked like he was literally looking at him waving. So I'm sure he's talking about when Bron was up there and maybe they didn't speak. And you know, of course, this is after Kendrick. It's like, Bron, keep your family away. Curry, keep your family away. You know what I mean? So this is right after that whole situation. You know, so I'm assuming that that's probably what he's talking about in that verse. But if you see what I'm saying, that verse is very, very superficial, and it's also very victimized and you know, very just sad about a relationship that you lost, that you were no longer involved in or something. You know what I mean? So that's really where I'm getting at. So I mean, those are the kind of the points that I brought out in verse 1. I'm gonna jump over to verse 2 real quick. So here we go. I'm gonna throw it up here too. All right. Verse 2. And niggas cried the blues for you, saying it wasn't malicious. Talking about my family. Well, I'm not the cousin to visit. God forbid we ever got to tarnish your public image. And I talked about this a little bit. So he's kind of trying to say and hint and insinuate that he could, publicly tarnish his or tarnish his public image, which is, I'm assuming he's talking about Bron. And here's where I go with that. It's like, if you know something that somebody is doing as a deviant behavior, and you're only willing to do something when they decide to end the friendship or to distance themselves from a friendship, you're part of the problem, bro. You were doing it too. You were in on it. And now you want to, throw him under the bus. Allegedly, but now you want to throw him under the bus because now y'all not close and y'all not talking like y'all was. So all of a sudden, you knew all this dirty, greasy stuff about Bron, and you was cool with it as long as you got his name tattooed or his face tattooed, and you get to go to the games and talk mess. And when he came up to Rhino, y'all hugging and having a good old time. As long as that's going on, it's cool that he's doing deviant behavior, allegedly. But if he's not, when he's not hanging out with you and he's not chilling with you, and he don't want to be associated with you as a friend, now you want to try to say, well, he was doing all this crazy stuff. It seems to me that kind of speaks a little bit to your character, and like whether it's true or not, I mean, it'll come out in the light. But that's kind of what I'm getting from that particular part. Like, if you know something, say it. Where else we at? I'm trying to read the ones that I feel like some of this stuff he's just blah 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 blah. He's just kind of going on and on. It's really meaningless stuff. But niggas wanted trouble. I grabbed a shovel and dug up some ditches, covered my body in dirt, but that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was a body double, and we got dozens of switches. This is what people talk about with Drake. You talking about switches and being hard and all this. Like, everybody know that's not your life, bro. And that's okay though. But when you play this persona, like everybody's supposed to be like, oh, Drake and OVO here, we all better tuck our chains in, like, bro, you're not Debo. Like, you're not about that life. And everybody kind of knows it now. But then for you to come out in this sensitive, sentimental love letter is what it seems like to me, talking about Bron and trying to be tough at the same time. It just don't even make sense. You seem hurt, but now you're trying to talk about switches and burying people, bro, or you being buried, whatever, man. Anyway, nonsense. So, still in verse 2 right now. Verse 2. What else? What else we got? Niggas try to light up my front gate. Excuse me. It wasn't for Christmas. I said a prayer that morning for Sean, and it wasn't religious. You see what I'm saying? It's just going. I came from a place of desperation and utter submission. Rapping was over for now. It's sudden. It came like a sudden decision. What? Rapping is over. Rapping was over for now. It came like a sudden decision. So, what are you saying? It's ended now. You're gonna stop rapping for now because you were forced to, based on what's going on. I don't even know what that means. But it says here, continuing, I don't give a fuck about you snakes or these other musicians. I'm sure he's talking about snakes as far as the athletes, because Bron, DeRozan, all these other guys that he said that there was family or friends or whatever it is, and now they don't want to hang out with him. And as a side note, if there are allegations of PDF filing and essaying and having essay rings or sexual type of parties and all that stuff, a person with a family, with a wife and daughter, probably don't want to be associated with that. I'm just being honest. If we're just not Bron, not anybody else, like, why would I connect myself to somebody that has allegations against them that support essaying girls, underage girls, and all that? And I have a daughter and I have a wife. Like, it makes sense for Bron to be like, yeah, we need to dial it back a little bit, whatever it is. So we got here. Niggas started fucking with my family. I'm going to prison. See what I mean? This like I'm hard. I'm about to go to prison. Drake, you would be like Dave up there with a sign-up sheet in prison, bro.
Fighting back. What if I offered like willing head? Willing head? I'm like, yeah. Willing head? Yeah. Think about it. Nobody wants a fight.
That's not true.
I would much rather give consensual head than get fucked up my ass and die. Well, it's not gonna be an option like that. No, hear me out. What if one day up in the caf I stuck a paper on the wall?
A paper?
Yeah, a sign-up sheet.
A sign-up sheet?
Yeah, with time slots.
What? Time slots?
Yeah, for head. You know, if you don't rape me, I'll give you the best head you'll ever get in jail. And I'll be such a joy, so pleasant. What a great companion I could be. This is so smart. Yeah. Then word would get around about the head, and everybody would start to realize the second I'm raped at the head off the table, better than.
Get out of here, man. All be crashing out. And we all crashing out together. My brothers was complicit. Who put a pipe bomb in your trunk? It was an exhibit. I'm trying to blow the doors off that bitch. When you touch the ignition, it's just fucking. So you trying to put a pipe bomb in people's trunk? You saying you want to blow people up in the car because they don't want to be your friend no more? I sound like a scorned lady in a relationship. If I'm being honest. I mean, it could be a scorned man. No, no. I don't have no judgment here. I don't got no beef with nobody. It could be a scorned man, but again, it sounds like you upset about a relationship that you can't have anymore. This is the last part for the verse 2. So it says here, but then we got to remember who made this shit come to fruition. So now, of course, I don't know if you're saying Kendrick made it come to fruition or you did it. Are you saying you that big that you the person that made all this come? But again, you are the person that started this, Drake. Drop. Remember? Anyway, that's verse 2. We're going to move on to verse 3 right now. All right, last verse, verse 3. Who got the most to lose? Who's in that other position? So he's trying to say, I got the most to lose. Kendrick is in the second position. Signal conversations, well, I hope they got a double encryption. I hate to see the empire crumble on judges' convictions. What he's talking about, this case, is UMG and all that stuff. You hate to see it crash based on, whatever's going on with your case and how that's gonna go. This nigga pulled a rabbit out the hat, and y'all love a magician. So he's basically saying these are tricks, from Kendrick. He's a magician. He's not doing anything real. When we all know clearly this is a real cultural issue and battle. I don't know if he understands that yet. Still, it's just deeper than rap, sir. I'm sure you heard that like a million times, not just from Kendrick, but everybody's platform. Let me get to the end of this. So let's see here. It's funny how I see y'all all rejoicing and hugging and kissing. What are we celebrating? I'll rent out the club at Edition. Nothing was the same for all of you bitches, and nothing's forgiven. Again, play on his Nothing Was the Same album, but you flexing your money, you're gonna rent out a club to celebrate, I guess, because you got it like that. I don't know. He said here, but next time, bury me in gold. My blood is Egyptian. The Dennis James come out when the vodka is flooding my system. Drinking problem, gambling problem, pill popping, and whatever problem, right? Let's see. Looks like he's still responding to that. I don't know if y'all know. So here we got, I don't have a drinking problem. This is the next line. I don't have a drinking problem. I got a subtle addiction. I don't have a drinking problem. I got a subtle addiction. I got my father's habits and I got my mother's permission. What? Your father habits have been known to have drug and alcohol problems. But I don't have an alcohol problem, but I got my father's addictions. And then my mother gave me permission to be what? A womanizer? You hate black women? You know what? I always got something to say about a black woman, Serena and what is it? Meg the Stallion and all the other ladies that you got beef with, that you always seem to, take issue with. Never seems to be, of the fair complexion. Never seems to be like a issue with Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to make it a race thing, but I'm just saying, what else can we do if you have a deep underlying issue with blackness or your lack thereof? Let me finish this up. All right. So here we go. But that's crazy work to just admit, yeah, I don't have a drinking problem, but I do have other addictions. You know what I mean? Like, what? All right. Last couple lines. My dad has another child. I told him I wasn't my sister. Grew up with dozens of Jews in churches. Grew up with dozens of Jews, churches, and dozens of Christians. Also developed a deep respect for the Muslim religion. I'm staring at my daddy. Why y'all tell me I wasn't that nigga? I'm staring at my daddy. So you think I'm staring at my black father, and you think by you saying I have a black father, you trying to say that you wasn't that nigga, like in reference of your blackness. And we trying to tell you time and time again, Drake, it's not about your having a black father. It's the culture. God damn it. What don't you understand about that? It's no different from the flip on Whitney and people trying to say she's interracial. But if you're born and raised in Compton, California, you're a part of the culture, sir. White, black, or indifferent. And you're not seeming to understand that. Last thing. The outro is "This is fucking crazy," or "That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. That's as far as I got." That's what he actually says on the song. And that just ties everything back to freestyle. So as far as you got what? Writing? So as far as I got writing, so now that's all I could put on this track when I go record it. It's not a freestyle, bro. You wrote it down. This is your deep feelings. You're in love with LeBron. You miss him so much. And you hate this. And you just want to go back to being best friends. And LeBron is like, we're done with that. So go ahead and do what you got to do. I'm sure he understands the same thing. But that's really my take on the whole Fighting Irish Freestyle. A man get another man tattooed on his body. It says a lot, bro. And honestly, the last thing I'm gonna leave you with, it's not a reference of loyalty, bro. You got Wayne's face on your body and then crossed it. So what does that even mean? Talk your shit. Appreciate y'all. I'm out.